Hello, I have officially been a full-time artist for 4 months now, and I have learned so much within these 4 months. I have met so many cool people. I've met other artists, and today I want to share with you guys what I've learned so far and pass on the advice that they have given me to you guys so that if you're in a similar situation, maybe it's helpful for you, or maybe these tips can just be helpful for wherever you are in your creative journey. I know that I've only been a full time artist for 4 months, but I have been painting for 3 years. I have been in marketing for 6 years. And I have been to 6 events already within my 4 months. So I feel like I'm doing the full time artist at like hyper speed right now. I may not be the most experienced artist, but I have been learning so much within these last 4 months, and the goal of this video is to share that advice onto you guys. Here's everything I have learned from participating in art markets and regular markets over the last few months. I want to share with you guys some sales techniques that I've learned, as well as some marketing techniques, and just ways to pull your booth together in a short amount of time. Okay, first let's hop into your booth essentials. I'll have a complete list below of everything that I use for my booth so that you can have links to everything. So I currently have a super basic setup for my events. I have 2 tables with tablecloths, and then I put my prints on those tables, and I use baskets for my displays. You can use anything to display your artwork, but that's just kind of how I wanted to go about mine, was using baskets. I thrifted them, so they were super cheap. I have a sign about my art. This is just a quick little blurb saying like my style. It has my social handles and it has my website. That one is super easy. You can literally just type it up in Canva and make it look pretty and then print it out. The other one is a QR code. Mine links to Venmo. I do not use a payment like processing thing yet, just because I just did not want to have to buy it. It's really not that expensive, but I just don't want to buy it. And it's just one thing that I haven't done yet. But Venmo, everyone literally has Venmo or cash, or I do like a payment link through Stripe, which allows them to pay with their phone if they have a card on their phone. So QR code to your preferred payment method. I do recommend you getting like a trolley just to hold everything, like a basket trolley, so that you can cart everything around. You need a chair to sit because you're going to be there all day long. Definitely recommend having a chair. And then you also need bags. So you need bags so that when people buy your stuff, you can put it in a bag for them so you can keep it protected. Also, for my prints, I put them all in protective sleeves so that it is a little bit nicer quality. Also, lights. If you're going to be there at night, then I highly recommend getting lights. I found my lights through another YouTuber artist that she recommended, and they are really nice because they are magnetic to the tent, so you can just like snap them onto the tent and they'll stay there. But I will say I use them for a 2 day event and they did not last very long. Like the second night, they were pretty much not working. So if you decide to buy them, just make sure that if you do a longer day events, like longer, like more than one night of an event, then make sure that you have your charger with you so that you can recharge them. So that is like my super basic setup for if you were just starting. And then the extras that I have are I have my 2 wire grids that I put together for all my shows. I highly recommend these because they're easy to move around and I use them to bring people into my booth. I like to have them in the very front of my booth so that when people are walking by, it grabs their attention and hopefully brings them into my booth. I have added a back wall, which is just like a fishing tarp that I added in the back wall of my booth. And that is to hang up my original paintings, but it's definitely not needed if that's not something that you're doing right now. If you're just selling prints, you probably don't need it. Then another extra is doing the clothing rack. That's just for me to hang up my originals that I do not have wires on because they're just flat. I don't have them framed or anything. And I just clothespin them to the hangers that are on my clothing rack. Okay, again, I want to stress that these are the basics. Like, I am just throwing this together and learning this as I go. And these are the things that have helped me. If you have any tips, please drop them below, or any other advice that you want to give to people, please drop that in the comments below. I want this to be like a good discussion. I still would love to learn and improve my booth, but I am on a very, very tight budget, as I assume you are too if you're watching this. These are just things that I think are just the necessities if you're just starting. Next, we're going to jump into the sales techniques. So these are all ideas that I've gotten from other artists that have communicated them to me. And I'm just like so grateful for that because I am not a seller at all. I am an artist. I can talk about my process all day. I can talk about how I created something all day and where I got inspiration from and what, all those things. But when it comes to selling things, I just do not have that, which is crazy because I'm in marketing. I have a marketing degree and a marketing background, but I was always on the design side and like the graphic design side of marketing. So I never really was like on the sales side of marketing, and I did that on purpose because I didn't want to sell anything. But anyway, when I became a full-time artist, I was like, okay, I need to like bite the bullet and learn how to sell things because it's very much needed when you're pushing your own product and pushing your own art. So here are the sales techniques that I've learned, and now I'm passing them to you. Okay, number one, when you have a price list, I before was putting the size like 11 by 14 and then the price next to it. I had another artist point out to me that no normal person really knows the sizes of most prints. Unless you buy a lot of prints from other artists, you're not going to know the sizing of things usually. It's not like a common thing that people just know what the difference is between an 8 by 10 and 11 by 14. So he was like, you need to take that off. And I was like, no, that makes complete sense. I don't know why I thought that I was being helpful by adding that. But anyway, what he recommended was having the prices as stickers on the physical print, not as a list. So I started doing that, and I will say I think it looks a lot better. And it also is a lot less confusing for people who come and look at my prints. Another thing, this is from another artist, but he said to take the dollar signs off of the prices that you put on your prints, because he said that you subconsciously see a dollar sign and you think, oh, you're spending money. But if you see just a number there, it doesn't trigger that money aspect as quickly. I haven't tried that yet, but I'm definitely going to try that at the next event that I go to. Another thing on the pricing is bundling. I was given the advice that bundling is super, super helpful. And I tested it out last weekend at my market, and I totally, totally agree. So I wanted to give you guys an example of my bundles. These will be different for you depending on what you are selling, but I think these could be a good start. At least they have been a good start for me. Let me pull my computer up a little bit. Can't see that far away. So my first bundle is a small print, which is a postcard size 4x6. The small prints are $8 or 3 for $20. The next size is a medium, which is 8 by 10. Those I'm selling for $18 or 3 for $50. And then the last one is the large size, which is a 11 by 14. I am selling those for $29 or 3 for $80. And I will say that people do go for the bundles. They like bundles. So highly recommend that. My prices, I have been told that they are on the low side, so do with that what you will. I have struggled with price in my work, but I do think that these numbers work really well for my type of art, and I haven't had any like issue with people not wanting to buy based on the price. So these could be a good starting point. The next tip is to put cardboard backings on the prints that you have on display. I had another artist recommend that I put cardboard backings on all of my prints, but I have like over 100 prints of all different sizes, and the time it would take for me to put cardboard backing behind every single one of them and like cut the cardboard to fit that specific piece is just, I don't really have time for that. If you want to do that, that's awesome. But the point of it is when people are at your booth and they see your artwork and they go to pick it up, or they see your print and they go to pick it up, it feels a lot nicer to have that cardboard backing with the protective clear film around it. So highly recommend that. I only put cardboard backings on the display pieces that I have at my booth. So I didn't put on all of them. I put them only on the backs of the displays. And it was so much easier to display them because they looked a lot nicer. And when people picked it up, it was just a better experience for everyone involved. So I highly recommend that. Another sales technique is to put your Instagram and your website everywhere. Like, I literally printed a piece of paper that just had my social handle on there like 20 times, and I just cut them out and then I just taped them to different areas of the booth so that when you saw my artwork, you saw my social handle as well. And it just made it super easy for people to remember that and follow me on the spot. Also, too, I know I mentioned earlier that I have two like display walls. I use the display walls to show all of my prints in the different sizes. I also use them to display my original pieces as well to bring people in. And so one of my original pieces, people take photos of it constantly. Like, it is, everyone who walks by it has a reaction, whether it's good or bad. And a lot of people think it's funny and they'll take a photo of it. So I had another artist tell me that I need to put my social handle on top of it so that anyone who takes a photo of it, it has my social handle on there every time, which was genius. Amazing advice. Incredible. So definitely do that if you are doing something similar, or if you have an original piece or a popular print, put your social handle in front of it. So smart. Going off of that same idea of putting your social handle in front of a piece that people are really eyeing, another sales tactic that you can use, and this may be obvious, but it wasn't for me. If people are staring at an original piece that you have in your booth, always mention, like, oh, I'm so glad you really like that piece. I have prints available if you're interested, but no pressure. And then show them the physical print. Like, grab it and show them and say, hey, I have a print of it. Crazy. I love this one too. That's a good sales tactic. But yeah, there's something about physically showing someone a product and like putting it in their hands versus just saying, like, oh, I have a print if you're interested. Also, don't be afraid to start the conversation. I know this will be kind of hard for some artists because I am already kind of shy. Like, I try to come off outgoing, but I am shy on the inside. And it can be kind of hard to start a conversation, especially if, someone just walks into the booth and doesn't really say anything other than like, hi, how are you? But definitely always try to like throw in a compliment, like be nice. Try to ask them like if they're vibing with a specific print or piece. I always go to people and I'm like, oh, which one are you like gravitating towards? Or which one do you think is your favorite? And that usually helps get the conversation started. But yeah, just try not to be scared of starting the conversation or talking about yourself. It can be hard because I feel like it's not easy to just open up and talk about everything that you do. But if people are coming into the booth, they want to know more. And if they don't, then they'll just walk away and say, have a nice day. So it's really worth it to try and at least have a conversation and open it up with them. Okay, in the last part of this video, I want to share some of the marketing techniques that I have used in my last event. And I just love talking about marketing, so this is my favorite part. I am super, super big on socials. I feel like if you are an artist and you're doing these markets, you are probably most likely on social as well. So here are some ideas that I have used, and I, again, want to pass it along to you guys to try out. I don't know if you guys have this same issue, but when people tag me in their story, it does not tell me, it does not notify me sometimes, and I miss out on a lot of people who tag me, right? Which is something I don't want to miss out on because it takes a lot for a person to take a photo of your work that they have in their house and then to to post it and tag you. I mean, that takes a lot of effort. And so anytime someone does that to me, I'm just like so grateful. That's really like one of the best things that people can do when they buy your work is to show it off. And so I don't want to miss those things. And so I was telling this to someone who came into my booth, and he told me that I should take a picture of the person when they buy the print in person, if they're okay with it, obviously ask their permission, but then to put them on my story and then tag them on my story, which is so smart. Like, I'm like mad at myself for not thinking of that. But anyway, I started doing that in my last event and it was so fun, and it helps people want to be more invested in your journey online versus just buying a print and like never contacting you ever again. It helps engage people in person to follow along with your journey. And then it also helps engage people through socials and helps you with the algorithm as well. I've only tried this out on Instagram, but I do feel like it was super helpful and I highly recommend doing it. Okay, now for a second marketing technique. This is another example of something that happened at my booth over the weekend. But I had a girl come by and she was so extremely nice, so sweet. She came up to me and she was like, "Hey, like, I don't really want to print. I don't have anywhere to put it, but I want to support you." And she was like, "I'm going to buy this size print and whoever comes by next who wants it, just give it to them for free," which was amazing. Like, that is my goal one day. My dream is to have enough money to where I can just go around and do that and just be nice to people and just give money away. Because is that not like the best thing in the entire world? Like, what? I love that. And so she told me to do that. And I decided, I was like, wait, like instead of just waiting for someone to come to my booth, why don't I engage the people who have already come by and followed me, right? So I posted on my story what she paid for, like the print that she paid for, and I told everyone that she was passing it along and that whoever comes to my booth next and tells me that they want that print, that they're there for that print, then I will give that to them. So literally in 30 minutes, I had a girl come back who followed me a couple hours earlier, and she was like, "I saw your story. I wanted that print the first time, but I didn't get it. And now I'm here to buy, like, I want to get the free one or whatever." So I was like, "Oh my gosh, yes, here you go." And then she ended up buying something else as well. So it was just like a really cool experience. And putting it all in my story was just, again, like helping the algorithm and then also connecting with people in person and connecting with people online at the same time. So at your next event, instead of waiting for someone to just offer to buy a print, maybe like midway or whenever it starts to slow down, you can put on your own story that you are giving away a free print, and whoever comes by first from seeing that story and claims it will be the one who gets it. I think this is such a good idea, and I'm going to start doing it at all of my events moving forward. So if you try it, let me know. Okay, the last marketing tip that I have for you guys is I was posting on my story every time that I was at an event, like the day of or the morning of, saying that I was here and that you should come by and see me. But I met another artist and she recommended to go live. So she goes live every single time she's at an event at the beginning of the event, saying that she's here, showing off what she has to sell that day. And then she will take that live video and post it as a post on Instagram and then also on her story. So I was only posting it on my story and getting like one avenue out of it, but she was posting it on 3 different avenues, which looks great for the algorithm. So I'm definitely going to try that moving forward. And I think it's such a good idea. Okay, I know that was a lot of information and I'm throwing a lot of advice and tips at you, but this is just everything I've learned in the last 4 months of going to all these different markets and meeting so many cool and very, very kind to people who love sharing their advice with others. And so I just wanted to share it with you guys. If you're watching this video, I hope it was helpful. And please use the comments below as a discussion on any advice that you guys want to give. I love learning and improving and getting better. I think we all want to if you're watching this video. So definitely use the comments below as like a little discussion on any tips and tricks that you may have for art, markets, selling, prints, all the things. And if you use any of these techniques and it's been successful, please let me know. And even if it's been unsuccessful, share that as well. You know, we need to learn from other people's mistakes as well. My phone is about to run out of storage, so I need to go. But thank you guys. I will talk to you later. See you in the next video. Thank you. Bye.